This is a James Trussart. Trussart? Because it's art. It's true art. It's a Trussart Rustcaster. It was dubbed that by the Reverend Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top because he plays some of these, along with Keith Richards and Eric Clapton. I didn't know because I am not rich, because these guitars are worth more than my moped, and that's sad. When you find out how much work goes into these things and how crazy they are, you go, oh my God, that kind of makes fucking sense that it's $5,500. Although this one is a NAMM one, so it might even be worth more. Holy shit. But I did some research. So I got this guitar and I traded for it. And well, I know anything made of metal is metal. So I'm like, I'll go for it. This is a crazy guitar because if you start finding out about James Trussart, whatever his name is, he's this French guy that came over to the United States around the 2000-ish mark, and he started making these steel guitars. Now, most guitars are made of wood. These are not. These are made of metal only. And in fact, he fabricates two pieces of metal together and then welds them seamlessly. Are you shitting me? He used some kind of cutty press thingy bobbity that's definitely not like anything else meant to make guitars, and then welds this shit together. And let me tell you, there are no weld lines. This is well done. The back is all see-through. What? And it's like a skeleton watch. I can see you. I was amazed. I was like, okay, this does not look easy. And then started looking at these flowers, and they're all etched in like a freaking Etch-a-Sketch, and they're beautiful. And the artwork is amazing. And I'm like, I wonder how he does that. Does he take his blood of a virgin and like just paint it on and 2 babies a month? No, ladies and gentlemen, he takes a fucking chemical bath with alligator skin and shit and does this with chemical processes. And then there's a whole phase that he basically leaves it out to the weather or whatever, and they fossilize or they rust. Like, genuinely, every one of his guitars has stuff that has been affected chemically, physically, by the powers that be. I don't know what it is. And then once he gets the metal body, it's all about tuning it so the intonation's perfect. Which, by the way, as when I got this guitar, it's amazing, except for one thing. Like some of the early Telecasters, you have to take the neck off. The actual truss rod thing is right here. But you can't adjust the neck unless you take it off. Now, when I took this neck off, I was wondering why it was all wonky. And somebody who had been doing this, I can only surmise, had tried to adjust it with only 2 of the screws in, which stripped the neck. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, and mind you, I am not a luthier, nor do I fix things or anything. Ask my therapist. I can't fix anything. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, these holes are stripped, and this is an expensive guitar, and what the fuck? So I got the neck perfect. And I did what any of you guys should do. I broke off some fucking incense from my dirty hippie incense box, and I shoved it into those fucking holes. And I screwed that shit in, and it stayed like nobody's business. It now plays well. I am blown away by this thing. It has this TV Jones pickup here, and it says TV Jones, so it's not like a fake one, unless it's a fake TV Jones. And this is beautiful. I'm not a telly guy, but if I'm gonna show up at a club and play a telly, you can see this from across the fucking universe. This is like I mean business. But I also like flowers. They're pretty and they smell nice. You know what I smell? Metal. Let's go plug this fucker in. One Rustcaster coming up. So, sounds like a Telecaster to me. I like the delay, but I guess it sounds like a Telecaster. It really does sound like a Telecaster. And that TV Jones pickups is kind of warm. And it's interesting because it's one of those things where we talk about tone being in your fingers. And there's all these magic wood combinations. And meanwhile, this is made out of f***ing metal, guys. Although it's got like that thin chimey sound, but that's what a Telecaster sounds like, right? Like other than those with like the crazy. I mean, it's thin and clanky, especially through an AC30, but that's kind of what I expect, and it sounds pretty cool. And I have to say that when you go to the TV Jones, it's a pleasantly warm sound. You know, it does go a little bit out of the Telecaster territory. Let's go to a 5153 and see what it sounds like. Snappy. Let's go to the middle. Rhythm. I gotta say, man, I mean, first off, I hit that. Starts playing so hard, I moved to the middle. So this goes right along there with the vintage pickups through high gain amps. So I was just talking to Jim about how I was working on a tune, and it sounded like a little too sharp because I used these super high gain amps, but then I had high gain pickups. So it kind of sounded a little bit sharp coming through the mix. And it's like something like this on a song, like where you want just to sound beefy, and just going with like a nice open. And just letting that hang. But listen to the tone on that fucking metal. That's at like 17 gain. Let's try something else just for giggles, because I'm gonna go to a Bogner Ecstasy, kind of a middle level gain. Cool, it has delay. All right. So like, this is like an amp that's on like 7 or 8, and it's not the highest gain amp, it's a Bogner Ecstasy. But like, it just sounds like nice and very touch responsive, so like. It's got those overtones. It's like just nice and like I love the touch response on this. So it has almost like a nasal kind of sound to it. Like that's kind of like, I just want, like, if I wanted a strum chord on a record, just be like. So I was impressed before just because it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you look at this and it's metal, man, and you can see through it, and it's pretty impressive. And you know, it screams expensive. It plays pretty well. It plays to me like a guitar that you have to take the neck off to adjust. But beyond that, it sounds great. It's got that high piercing cut that you would expect from a Telecaster. And it's got like those pleasantly soft output pickups, low output pickups that, like with the right amps, become super touch responsive. That's kind of the thing with Telecasters, is that they're very touch responsive. And when you have very low output pickups, the difference between like really digging in and not could be the difference of an amp being distorted and not being distorted. And James Trussart, I gotta tell you, man, you did a good job with all your fossilizing and alligators and bass and crap. You might call them French fries. I just call it a Freedom Caster.
Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?